Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. I will tell you I'm a little weepy, but I come to you today with a really transformed and very full heart, and a lot of peace. So the first thing I want to do is say thank you. Um, the support and love in the comments on my last video, and just in the form of messages over Instagram and um, and emails has been an unexpected blessing and gift in all of this. And I can't thank you all enough. It's really left me feeling loved and supported in the healthiest way through everything. And so I really do want to thank everyone for that. I, I I read every single message in great detail, and I will get back to every one of them at some point um, as I'm able to. Um, and I just want you to know, if you're one of the people who said something loving and kind, you can't know the kind of just utter love I felt at hearing and reading so many things that were so incredibly full of empathy and kindness and compassion. And that's definitely like the kind of atmosphere I'm hoping to cultivate in the world. Hopefully not always through pain and suffering, but when you're in a place where there's a lot of pain and suffering, there's nothing more amazing and transformative than to encounter with that from others. There really isn't. Um, so yeah, that's where I really wanted to start. Um, I'm a little weepy and off because, not in a bad way, but because just now I sat down to do the video, and then of course realized that I knew the vet was coming. I didn't know when. I knew it would be sometime between 10 and 1, and she was here right away. So I have my baby back. I have him back. I'm so happy to have him back. I've already opened the box and held the ashes and the remains, and just had a chance to kind of feel them and be with the energy of them and everything, which is maybe creepy for some people, but I find it comforting. I find it comforting, the idea that who and what we are is so temporary and impermanent and dependent upon so many different conditions and factors in order to be something and be perceivable as this body, right? As this set of aggregates that comes together to form a Natalie right now, in this time, in this moment. In the next moment could be gone. And whatever the consciousness was that pulled together all of those aggregates to create a thing, to create a Natalie, could just be dispersed and become no more discernible from any other object on the ground or the earth. That somehow to me brings great comfort. So to find that my beloved baby, who had the most beautiful, peaceful death I could ever have wanted for him, really it was ideal. I really hope that everyone else I love in my life will be able to have that kind of peace and that kind of ease and love at the end of their life. It's definitely what I would want for my mom and dad, and my I would be willing to accept death in whatever form it comes, and kind of find that fascinating personally. I don't know why, but I do. I tend to imagine like all kinds of different possibilities or scenarios, and how I might cope with that, or how I might meet it or recognize it, and what would then happen. And quite often I wind up laughing. and just kind of opening up and going, okay, because that's how it is, right? That there, at any moment, something can take us away. So I don't know, for me, the contemplation of death around my pet always, of course, is going to turn into a contemplation of my own death or of the death of anyone I love. And how, what is my relationship with death? And I guess I'm relieved to report that I still have a very loving and peaceful relationship with death. It feels like a giant hug. It feels like being embraced in a way that's complete and whole, and which is ending and yet also full of possibilities and unknown things that that just hold great mystery and yet great comfort at the same time. Yeah. I think the thing that has been the hardest all the way along throughout the whole process has been recognizing that the time with this beloved being was coming to an end, in a physical form, in a way in which I could touch him and feel him and hold him and experience his presence in a very physical, visceral way. And simultaneously, that experience of his presence, as many of you will have noted probably from the last videos I did before he died, were also filled with great weight and heaviness and burden is not the word I want, but burden is probably not an inappropriate term, as insensitive as it may sound. Because I really was having to do a lot of physical heavy lifting and carrying. He really couldn't be separated from me at all. The final, week and a half of his life, he physically, I could go to work and come home, but when I was home, I really had to be in the room with him, and I had to kind of limit where he was going in the house or where I took it. I mean, he couldn't get anywhere in the house without my help, but I had to be careful about where I put him or took him, because I could end up with a big mess to clean up, or just a lot more effort and work. And it really wasn't until he was gone, like a day or two after he was gone, that it really sunk in how much, like over the last month of his life, most of my own life had become devoted really to taking care of him. Because he, week by week, it would become clear, like, okay, I need to let go of this now, or I'm going to have to relinquish my grasp of this, or I'll have to put this down. I'll have to postpone this. I'll need to say no to this. And it did get to the point, really, in the last probably 2 to 3 weeks before he died, it really did get to the point where, I didn't do much besides get up in the morning, dress myself, and tend to just the major things in life. So taking care of him, keep cleaning up after him, cleaning up after Tom and myself, making sure my laundry was clean so that I'd have work clothes, going to work, recovering from work, rinse and repeat. So there wasn't reading books, there wasn't playing, there really was not much else and much energy left for anything besides that. And or the recovery from it, right? And the recovery from it usually in the form of numbing out, which is not helpful, but sometimes it's really almost all you can do at times, because it means you're going to have to face the reality that you you're getting to that point. And so thankfully it didn't carry on for very long before I realized, okay, I'm at that point. And so then the last week and a half of his life was different because I was able to then, instead of numbing out, really sit with him. It was so much more present and so much more conscious and so much more focused, I guess. So that was really positive. That said, I don't know, I feel like a weird combination of like great gratitude that I can start to reclaim various elements of my life that kind of had to be put to one side, while also grieving the reason that that's the case. But overall, I feel peaceful. I really feel truly, deeply peaceful. And I think there are a number of reasons for that. And one of them is that when we are able to reconcile with death and with the fact that death is happening or that it will happen soon, which I've been really in the place of being with since December, probably, since around my birthday, just before the cats showed up, when I realized, wow, I've got 3 old animals in my home. This time next year, they won't be here. And then the cats came. And the cats have been a tremendous blessing. I'm just going to see if Trinley will let me pick him up. Come here, Trin. Come here, Trin, please. Yeah, here's a big floof. Ooh, what have you been in? I guess I need to clean the litter box. Yeah, these guys. Can you look sweet? Can you look in the camera? There you go. These boys have been like a lifesaver. You know, they're so snuggly and sweet. And I know it's hot. And just constant companions, you know, they're with me all the time. I mean, Trinley's in here. He just laid down on the floor next to me. They've really kind of sucked up the space that was left by Noah and his passing. But yeah, I've known for probably 9 months that this was coming. So I've been in a relationship with it that whole time. And every month was a blessing, and it was an opportunity to spend time with him and to ensure that the quality of his life was good in the time that he had left. But it did include a certain level of sacrifice. And yeah, I don't regret it. I don't regret that at all, because the peace that comes from knowing that you did everything that you could, and you faced and confronted the difficulty, albeit with, you know, through tears, through crying, through being angry and frustrated, but really looked it in the eye. There's nothing that compares with that in terms of the peace that you can feel on the other side of it. Yeah, when I knew that his needs were going to start to change our relationship in such a way that burden became a more accurate description of how I was relating to his needs, that was really when I knew our quality of life together is no longer conducive to forcing him to remain, you know. So yeah, and I really don't have any regrets. I feel really happy about the way he died. You know, he had a Henry VIII kind of death. His favorite thing in the world was food. So he was so fat when he died, that even I was shocked. I think I stuffed him so full of treats and food that last week and a half of his life. Like, we had this huge box of milk bones, and I know we went through almost everything except for like a small baggie that was left of that box, as well as just, you know, he had a Happy Meal, you know, the night before, and, you know, we let him have whatever he wanted, really, for about 8 or 9 months. Once I knew, that he was really on the decline and there wasn't anything I could do about it, and his days were very numbered, that was it, and he was a big fat guy when he died, let me tell you. When they took him out on the stretcher to the vet's car, because I was very fortunate enough to be able to bring a vet in to have him euthanized at home. He wiggled and jiggled like a bowl full of jelly, a barrel full of jelly, like 100-and-something pound barrel full of jelly. He was a big boy, and really, really happy. And, the last thing he did was eat treats right before he passed or fell asleep. And, I will not hesitate to say that I have had multiple points of contact with him since he died, which of course also brings tremendous relief and joy and ease and peace to the situation, because I know he's well. I know he's okay. And with that said, too, I really want to thank, I'm sitting here clutching and hugging him because this is what's left. It's just the ashes and the dirt, I want to thank Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot, really from the bottom of my heart, because I guess it was last week on Tuesday, the vets had sent a condolence card, and I opened it, and when I opened it, there was a paw print in there. And I could see that it was Noah's left paw print. I knew which paw it was. And his energy was on it so strongly, and I hadn't really felt that for several days since he died. He was really with me that day. And then I wasn't as able to notice him. I was more aware of like the space in the house and how much had changed. But that same day that paw print arrived, I had remembered like that during the day at work, I had seen a little message pop up from Tracy. And I thought, I'll get back to her now and look at that, because I had a sense that she might have a message from him, and she did. And it was so beautiful and so perfect and so completely him. There was no doubt in my mind that her description of the way he holds his head or held his head, all of it was just him through and through. It was Noah. And, we got off the phone. I put the message down. I mean, it was so intense. The experience of reading it was so intense. I guess we did message and text back and forth. And my connection with Tracy can at moments feel so visceral and real that I feel like she's sitting in the room with me or next to me, or we're on the phone together. So that's probably why I said like put down the phone. But I was reading through some of it, and she'd mentioned that she saw a circle around him that was like a really bright hot pink, and with a gray around it. And I thought, why are those colors popping up in my mind? Because a lot of times, like blue, obviously blue was a big color for Noah, and purple. Purple was really big. He had his first collars were always purple. Trying to think what else. I mean, I had his most recent one was a really pretty light green color, like a light aqua or dark aqua green, really pretty bright green color. So that pink, that hot pink, I was like, that flashes, there's something in that. And I remembered that his thunder shirt was hot pink and white. And that was kind of a joke, because he developed, although he never had a fear of thunder, he developed a fear of thunder and lightning at some point. And a thunder shirt really helped him. But the only one they had in his size was hot pink. So we got him that one. And I think that's probably why the next item was purchased. I went back to go find the thunder shirt because I couldn't remember how pink it was. And on top of the box of his stuff, because I took everything out, washed it and cleaned it and everything to decide what do I need to donate to the shelters and what do I want to hang on to, because the chances are I will have another pet, or another dog at some point, and I may want some of those things for my new dog eventually, not anytime soon. And on top of the giveaway box was this bandana, this hot pink bandana edged in gray, because the gray part's like reflective. And it was just sitting there right on top of the box, and I hadn't even noticed it. And I knew I will not let go of that. It's actually up here on, I made a little, which way do I go? This way, I think. Yeah, you can see the edge of it there on my top shelf there on my little buffet, on my grandmother's buffet. I cleared everything off of that shelf, and I made a little, like a little shrine for him, just a little place for his, some things that are special to him, like his ashes will go up there, but also his paw print and his one of his balls that he loved to play with, and the cards and some other flowers and stuff. I had a lot of really beautiful flowers that were sent. I feel so blessed, really. I feel so blessed. But nothing could have blessed me in the same way as having that message and recognizing, and having that further moment of grief. So I had a big grief burst that night, and that it followed into the next day, which thankfully it was 1 week to the day. And it helped kind of clear out some more of that grief and open space for that relationship to continue, rather than just being gone, for it to transform the way it needs to. And so I started his Jitro that next day on the Wednesday, so like 1 week, and I started it, within the hour of like the time that he passed. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I've been intending to do it every day. It didn't quite happen yesterday, but I will be back to it today because also his ashes arrived. So that'll be next. And I didn't know how I was going to feel when his ashes arrived, but I'm so happy that they're here, and I'm so relieved. So, yeah. How long have I been talking? A while. Okay. So if you're still here and you've listened to all of this, thank you so much. I really deeply appreciate that. And, I feel good about moving forward. I feel happy about returning to reading again. I didn't know how I was going to feel or how long I would feel not able to read. I've had to put a few readings off, actually, because I couldn't go through with them. So, yeah. And I think a lot of people have held off on asking for readings because they knew that I was grieving. So I appreciate that. And this is also a way to let everyone know I feel okay about going back to reading again. I would not offer to do it or begin scheduling readings again if I didn't feel okay about it. Because my sense of responsibility and integrity around professional things is, it's very important to me. So I just want to be clear about that. Yeah. So again, thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you all again very soon. Okay. Bye.